The city of Atet has appeared above Mount Thay with a burst of magic. Immediately, the fortress begins to go into a high alert. The fires around the streets burn bright, brilliant red as war horns are sounded. Now is the time of battle. Almost as quick as it appeared, massive bolts of electric arcane energy are shot up and outwards towards the city, bashing against its underbelly, carving large swaths of rock and stone that then begin to fall and rain down on the city fortress below. And then, despite all of this immediate chaos at the very edges of the flying city of Atet, lights begin to appear. Dozens, hundreds, thousands of them lined up along the edges of the city before those lights then begin to descend. People throwing themselves over the edge of the city of Atet en masse. Orbs of energy trailing behind them as their cloaks flutter wildly in the wind as they plummet to the fortress below. Fighters, mages, all citizens of Faerun, all victims of the invasion of the Thayan Empire that now descend to bring their vengeance on the capital city. As they approach the city, a unified shout echoes out across the sky as those orbs of energy that follow them are called upon. Cloaks that once flew madly against the wind of their falling suddenly spread out like wings of eagles, slowing and controlling their descent as the rebellion glides down amongst the towers and streets of the fortress. Upon touching down across the city, the rebellion begins their assault. With a massive war cry, the rebellion meets the Thayan army, and the sounds of clanging metal and arcane release of spells can be heard amongst the shouts and cries of battle. That is when, over the edges of the city, 3 massive airships fly out and descend. Leading the charge, the Reclaimer, glimmering and shimmering with its own reflected light from the fires and explosions below it, begins to unleash its own destruction on the towers where mages rain death upon the rebellion's forces. Behind it, 2 other massive ships fly, the Fang and its recently recovered sister ship, the Talon. Large war galleons of an era long past now begin to unleash cannon fire barrages down on the fortress peak itself. Blast after blast go out, and as the smoke clears, it is clear that there is no damage done, as large, brilliant, arcane abjuration shields shudder to life and hold against the onslaught. Almost as if in retaliation to this, 5 massive dragons fly out into the air over the city. The children of Tiamat rise to the defense. Elemental breath weapons are unleashed upon ship and army. The battle has turned vicious, but not all is lost. Above the city of Atet, new stars light the sky. 13 brilliant points of light as Aphriel and his Celestials join the fight below. The final battle between the child and his angels, and death and the dragon, has officially begun.